Hi Madhu, welcome to the podcast today. In this discussion, we will discuss about your life journey, what your experiences have been working in both in India as well as in US. So before further ado, I'd like to start with tell me something about yourself. Where do you belong from, and what led you to move to the US? Get started.
Yeah. Thank you, Arpit. And um, this is a very interesting question because I am from Kolkata. I studied here. I did my bachelor's in Presidency College, which is now a university in Kolkata. Then I did my master's from Indian Statistical Institute in New Delhi, and I moved to UK, and I did my management from Queen Margaret University, and also my master's in international banking and finance from Heriot Watt University in Scotland. And then
If I'm hearing it right, आपने दो MBA करे हैं, इसका मतलब एक यूके में और एक स्कॉटलैंड से, या दोनों एक ही थे ये दोनों?
one was MS in international banking and finance, and the other one was in management.
अच्छा, तो दो करे आपने, 2 MS.
Yes,
अच्छा अच्छा,
yes.
आपका तो
And then
ऑलमोस्ट 4 एजुकेशन डिग्रीज तो आपने अभी बता दी. एक बैचलर्स करा है, एक मास्टर्स करा है इंडिया, एक कोलकाता में, एक दिल्ली में, एक यूके में, एक स्कॉटलैंड में, फिर यूएस में भी कुछ करा आपने आगे जाके?
yes, in the US, I did my master's in computer science from Denver University. And then I was working for Oracle in Denver, which was very interesting. I got this as a campus, from my campus career section. And it was a very, very good opportunity for me because I got to work in a company.
Right. Was by that chance, was that your first job out of college, or आपने उससे पहले इंडिया में भी काम करा था पहले, या यूके
Yes,
में?
I was working in the State Bank of India. I worked for 2 years here
अच्छा.
as a probationary officer. And that's, what fueled my interest in learning more about finance and banking. And that's why I'd gone to Heriot Watt in Scotland.
Right.
And then when I went to the US, I did want to pursue my PhD in finance. But at that time, it was not very easy to get a visa, as it has
Right.
been over the last 30 years now.
Right.
So it was more difficult. And then I moved on and chose computer science because
Right.
more of the jobs were in computer science.
तो
So
एक बात पूछना था मेरे को आपसे यहाँ पे, तो आप जब यूके में थे, तो आई एम अज्यूमिंग आप 3-4 साल रहे होंगे यूके में, या कितना, 2 साल रहे, या कैसे? क्योंकि आई थिंक 1 ईयर की
yes,
मास्टर्स होती है यूके में, राइट? जैसा मुझे
absolutely right.
राइट.
Yes, so I did 2 masters in 2 years. Yes,
2 years एंड देन यू जस्ट,
I
आपने
did.
काम नहीं करा यूके में, सीधा आप यूएस चले गए?
Yes, and actually when I was in the UK, I wanted to work over there, but at that point, I did not have a visa to work, and it was not as easy as it is here nowadays.
Okay.
And I loved cooking, so I wanted to open my own restaurant over there.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I
यूके
had
में
gotten
किधर
a
थे? यूके
scholarship,
में which city were you in UK? In London or
Edinburgh. It's in
Edinburgh?
Scotland. Yes.
Okay,
Um,
got it, got it. Excellent.
so wanted to open my restaurant, but I had a lot of family opposition, and
Oh,
so I did not pursue that. I came back to India, and then I thought I wanted to pursue further studies and go to the US and work.
अच्छा.
So that's
तो
why I
आप ये
came.
बता रहे हैं, लाइक आप, आई थिंक आप जो बता रहे हैं टाइमलाइन, ऑलमोस्ट ये 1980s का बता रहे हैं आप, या 1990s का बता रहे हैं? कब का बता रहे हैं?
Late 1980s, that was the time when I was in the UK. And
अच्छा.
then beginning of 1990s, I came to the United States.
तो उस समय भी H1 वीजा वगैरह जैसे आजकल लगता है, तब भी वैसे ही होता था, या डिफरेंट था, कुछ अलग था तब?
It was a very difficult process at that time, Arpit,
Oh.
and maybe I didn't know enough as well. So first, when I was studying computer science, I
Right.
interned with AT&T Bell Labs, and I got my first job actually in Lucent,
Oh,
um,
wow. Yeah.
which, which was part
तो
of
डिड
Bell
यू
Labs.
आप उसमें बेसिकली राउटिंग स्विचिंग नेटवर्किंग वो काम करते थे या आप कुछ और चीज करते थे लूसेंट में?
No, I was in the networking
अच्छा.
team. Yes, and then I was a project manager over there.
ओके.
And then I completed my degree in computer science, and I got my first job in Oracle after I completed the degree.
बेसिकली
So
आप जब एटी में थे तो आप कोऑप या इंटर्नशिप कर रहे होगे फिर शायद आप. इज दैट
yes,
हाउ? अच्छा.
yes, and I also got my job in AT&T after I completed the internship.
गॉट इट.
Okay, yes, and
बट यू
then
चोज टू गो टू लाइक Oracle instead.
yes, because in AT&T it was a very good opportunity for me, but I was interested in sales.
अच्छा.
So in AT&T it was more technology, which I enjoyed, and I knew that I would say my acumen and everything was a lot stronger in business. So I
बिजनेस.
wanted a role, yes, which
राइट.
was a good match between technology and business.
So in
So
Oracle you basically transitioned into a business role. Is that right then?
yes,
Okay.
that was my first sales job, which I did in Oracle.
Did you sell databases for them? Like what were you selling in that business at Oracle?
Yes, so my first customer was Quest, which was a
Okay.
very big account for Oracle, and we
Mhm.
were selling databases.
Okay.
Then we were also selling applications to
Okay.
other companies,
Right.
mostly
Right.
telecoms in the Denver area.
ओ टेलीकॉम एप्लीकेशन. सो अच्छा, मुझे ये नहीं पता था कि ओरेकल में टेलीकॉम एप्लीकेशंस भी उस ज़माने में थी, क्योंकि जैसे मेरे को ध्यान है 2008 में ओरेकल ने ओएसएस बीएसएस की दो कंपनीज अक्वायर करी थी, मेटासॉल्व और टोटल, और तब उन्होंने अपना कम्युनिकेशंस ग्लोबल बिजनेस यूनिट बनाया था. तो आप बता रहे हैं कि इवन मतलब अर्ली 90s में भी उनके पास कुछ टेली कम्युनिकेशंस के कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स होते थे ओरेकल के पास उस जमाने में?
Oh, we were selling databases
अच्छा,
to the
डेटाबेस.
companies,
अच्छा, नॉट
and then
नेसेसरली. अच्छा.
yes, and then the applications were CRM
अच्छा. अच्छा,
that
समझ.
were
तो,
selling to
तो
other.
was this still the Siebel CRM or this was a different CRM that Oracle had at the time?
This is much before Siebel.
Siebel.
So
Okay.
Siebel
Okay.
was our competitor at that time.
At that time. Okay. Got it.
Yes.
Got it. So that's interesting. फिर Oracle में आपकी कितनी जर्नी रही, कितने कितने टाइम रहे आप Oracle के अंदर?
Yeah, I was in Oracle for a year, and then I got a job with Microsoft in Redmond.
ओ नाइस.
Um,
अच्छा, तो अब
yeah, as
डेनवर
a
से फिर रेडमंड आ गए आप एक्चुअली?
yes. So I came to Redmond, and then I started my journey in Microsoft. So
अच्छा.
that was a very, very exciting time for me. I learned a lot, and I
राइट.
got to see how.
तो एक चीज मुझे आपको रोकना था, एक चीज पूछनी थी. तो जैसे आपने एजुकेशन एमएस कर रहे थे आप, वो आपने शायद डेनवर यूनिवर्सिटी से करी थी एमएस, आप बता रहे थे डेनवर से कर,
Yes,
और वहीं पर
yes,
आपको ओरेकल में मिलेगा डेनवर के अंदर ही. एंड
yes,
देन आप डेनवर में एक साल रह के उसके बाद आप रेडमंड शिफ्ट हो गए माइक्रोसॉफ्ट के लिए. तो
right.
अगर थोड़ा सा अपना याद करें, तो डेनवर और रेडमंड में आपको क्या सिमिलैरिटीज थी या क्या अंतर था, कुछ उसके बारे में बता पाएंगे आप थोड़ा?
So job-wise, I think Oracle was a very good beginning for me because I got to learn a lot about their products, got to
राइट.
learn about sales, and we had an excellent training program for new
हम्म.
salespeople.
राइट.
So I thought, everything matched very well.
राइट.
And team we had in Denver was also excellent. So
राइट.
there was a lot of things that I could learn, and then not just about Oracle products and so on, but also from the people I worked with. They
राइट.
had a very strong consulting division as well. And that was the time we started working with Accenture, and other consulting companies.
Right, right. So,
So
Jackie, I was talking more around like when you were living in Denver, like what was the look and feel? What was the energy like? Who are the people you are surrounded with? Like from a place, like where do you live, as compared to if when you were in Redmond, how was it different or how was it similar? Like I'm talking about the topology of the area, Denver versus like Redmond, the weather, the climate, the people. Can you jog your memory a little bit to see were there any similarities or differences that you were able to see at that point of time, or nothing kind of strikes out?
no, definitely. Actually, staying in Colorado, it is such a beautiful state,
Right.
with the mountains, and all of that. So I enjoyed staying over there, and it was specifically very good for me because I went to university there. I
Yes.
was also associated with UC Boulder, which
Yeah.
is another very beautiful campus.
Right. Okay, so because you spent your college years there, so you had that kind of memories and like a college town, and so you had that kind of memories there. And then you moved to Redmond, which is basically completely far west. Denver is probably Central Time Zone. Is that right? Denver is the
Yes,
CST,
it's
Mountain Time.
mountain.
Right? So now you moved to Redmond, which is Pacific Time. What was the transition looked like? Like, is it like a 4 hour flight, or like how long is the flight? Do you know, like a direct flight?
Don't remember, but maybe 2 hours or so.
Two, 2 hours. Okay, that's not too bad.
Uh,
I thought because
I
even
remember
San
it's
Francisco to Redmond is also probably, I guess, one hour flight actually, I think.
okay. I might be a little off
Yeah,
because it's
because
so many.
Denver is much more closer to Austin, if I'm not wrong. It's just north of Austin, and Austin flight is pretty much like 4.5 hours. So I'm thinking Denver shouldn't be uh, at least 3.5 to 4 hours. I'm just like using back of the
Yeah,
envelope calculations.
check that out.
ठीक है, कोई नहीं दिक्कत. हाँ, तो
Actually,
फिर आप लोग.
I joined the PhD program in UC Boulder first.
अच्छा.
And then in the summer, I didn't, my tuition and everything was covered, but
Right.
my living for the summer was not covered. So I
अच्छा.
definitely had to get an internship.
Right.
And it was very difficult for me to find an internship. And when I asked some of the people who were interviewing me,
Right.
like, what would you have liked to see in my resume for you
Yes.
to give me this position? And they said, if you had programming skills, if you
Oh.
were
Yeah.
computer science major. And
Right.
that's the reason I changed to computer science, because I had a very strong mathematical background.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and so I thought that this would be a good place for me to be if I got programming skills, because
That makes sense. So आप मेरे को एक चीज ये बताइए, जैसे आप बता रहे हैं कि आपको ट्यूशन कवर्ड था, तो आपका जैसे फीस नहीं लगी, आई थिंक, राइट? दैट्स व्हाट यू आर ट्राइंग टू टेल. तो उसके लिए आपको क्या करना पड़ा था? आपको कोई सैट मतलब जीआरई देना पड़ा था, या कुछ what did you have to prepare or do to get a scholarship? I guess you got a scholarship to basically study
yes,
without tuition, right? क्या करना पड़ा
yes,
था?
I had taken GRE as
Okay.
well as GMAT, because this was
अच्छा.
part of the business school.
बिजनेस स्कूल
So
में.
I had taken the GMAT exam as well.
ओके. ओके, और जो आपका जो पीएचडी का जो रिसर्च टॉपिक था, वो किस 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 एरिया में कर रहे थे आप पीएचडी?
It was on like what you call industrial engineering.
अच्छा. अच्छा, इंडस्ट्रियल इंजीनियरिंग. एंड देन
Mhm.
आप शिफ्टेड टुवर्ड्स कंप्यूटर साइंस पीएचडी.
Yes,
But you didn't,
the
rather than
PhD
completing the
program.
PhD, you got an MS in computer science and you moved on basically.
Correct.
अच्छा, ठीक है, ठीक है. I think ये वाला path, many students actually follow this path, that they'll enroll in a PhD program, but they don't go all the way through like 5 6 years, whatever it takes, and rather in 2 years they decide, okay, I'll rather get a job and not do the full length of the PhD probably. That's the
Yes.
route many people. So I think this is a good takeaway here, right, for all the people who are looking forward to coming to the States and trying out studies. A good option is to go for a PhD. The chances, I think, of getting a tuition waiver and a scholarship is much higher in a PhD rather than an MS. And then once you get that waiver, And if you think that it's not the right fit for you, after 2 years of completing the MS, you can take the MS and basically move on and drop the PhD. Is this a fair statement to make, or do you think that's not good?
Absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely on the dot. And that's what many of us have to do because we
right,
do need a scholarship
right.
and so
Yeah,
on.
that
Yeah.
makes sense. So in shifting gears, so now you actually moved to like Redmond, and in those days, like Microsoft was the big daddy of like it was the big tech basically, unlike today. And I mean now also again it is becoming the big tech, but at least its name is not in the FANG. But it was the yesteryear's FANG at that point of time in early 90s, as you were describing, right? So Google and Yahoo's and all those didn't even exist at that time, basically. So Microsoft was the big player at that point of time. So did you prepare, like how did you even crack a job at Microsoft, because it was very highly technical? They used to focus on getting the best of the best. So how did you make a transition from Denver, working for Oracle, and getting actually a job at Microsoft? If you can share some tidbits there.
Yes, sure. At that time, what is now the Skype
Yeah,
division in Microsoft, that's the division that I had joined in
right,
Microsoft.
right,
Um,
right.
so that it was called real-time communications.
Oh, right, right. Now, and you had a background in networking, and also that kind of fits very well to your background. Okay.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
that is the reason I could crack the interviews.
Oh, nice, nice. That's very good. And was this still a programming job, or ये अभी भी आप business development ही कर रहे थे Microsoft में भी?
This was a program management job where you definitely
Yeah, man.
needed hardcore
Right.
technology skills
Technologies.
as
Yes.
well as business acumen because my first role was in technology adoption, where
Okay.
we were meeting with customers and
Right.
inviting them to try out our new product, which was the real-time communications product.
That sounds good. So, did you work for like quite a bit about like what was your journey like in Microsoft? Did you spend quite a few years, or did you move on to something else, or like how long did you work there?
No, I'd spent several years in Microsoft,
Oh, really?
and
Wow. Okay.
yes, and then I also became a vendor of Microsoft. So we developed a call center solution,
Oh,
in
nice.
fact, a contact center solution
Right.
on the Microsoft SIP platform.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's what
Okay.
we did. Yes. So, it was the solution where when calls come in or,
Right.
how
Right.
do the call center people take those calls? How do you
Right. Right.
process
So I
calls?
think it's
You
known as
route.
automatic call distribution, ACD, and you can do call recording for quality check. Like the QA managers can like join in to the put a like a webhook and can listen on to what the agent and the customers are talking through. Uh, it jogs my memory because I have also worked on call center solutions, so I understand the stack, how the calls routing happens and how you check the agents. But I was not aware that actually Microsoft has a like a call contact center solution. Um, I am aware of like Netgear used to have it, Dialog used to have it. I think Cisco used to have a like a call contact center solution. But I guess what you're talking about is even prior to these companies probably existed. I guess that's where it
Yeah,
is.
actually, Microsoft had the platform,
Okay.
and after I left Microsoft, I became a Microsoft vendor, and
Oh,
that's when I developed this application on the Microsoft platform.
right, 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 right. That makes sense. Okay. So did you throughout your journey at Microsoft, did you remain in the program management sphere, या आपने कुछ और भी try करा different areas, या you always remained a program manager?
Yes, I remained in the program
Program
manager role,
manager
although I moved on to other divisions
divisions.
with Microsoft. Yes.
Were they part of within that communications and networking, और आपने बिल्कुल जैसे Windows या like Xbox और like live करके भी होता था उनका Microsoft Live, और Bing से पहले का जो होता था, जो पता नहीं मुझे क्या बोलते थे उसको, but did you try those things also, or you were mostly in the communications and networking division of Microsoft?
Communications
अच्छा, आप तो डोमेन
division.
में रहे आप basically.
Yes.
अच्छा,
Yes.
अच्छा, ठीक है. तो
And,
you mentioned that so you probably started your own company. That's how you became a vendor, or like how did you went into becoming a vendor?
Yes, I started my own company and
Oh,
then became vendor of Microsoft. Yes. And
excellent.
what I enjoyed over there is, obviously the very beautiful, huge campus we had,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
opportunities to interact with other divisions, other people in
Right.
Microsoft. And so that
Yeah.
so that was definitely interesting. And basically, just getting the opportunity to learn so much. We
Right.
also got the opportunity to do courses at Kellogg.
Oh,
So
really?
Microsoft
That's
would
awesome. Yeah.
sponsor us. Yes.
या मुझे इतना पता है कि माइक्रोसॉफ्ट का जैसे हेल्थ केयर प्लान मैं सुनता था, मैंने तो कभी काम नहीं करा, बट आई हैव लॉट ऑफ फ्रेंड्स हु वर्क देयर, दे सेड कि इंश्योरेंस प्लान माइक्रोसॉफ्ट का बहुत अच्छा होता है, आपका एम्प्लॉय को कुछ स्पेंड नहीं करना होता, इट्स ऑल कवर्ड बाय माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, एंड दैट्स प्रॉब्ली द ओनली कंपनी एक्सेप्ट गूगल दैट डज दैट। बाकी सब किसी भी कंपनी में जाओ तो आपको कुछ एम्प्लॉय कंट्रीब्यूशन रहता है और कुछ एम्प्लॉयर कंट्रीब्यूशन रहता है, बट देयर इज सम कंट्रीब्यूशन फ्रॉम योर कपल ऑफ $100 just to have the insurance plan. But Microsoft, I think it is fully covered by Microsoft. You don't have to do employee contribution. Is that a fair statement that you experienced, or you did have to pay for insurance?
No, absolutely correct. So when I was in Microsoft, we did not have to pay anything for
Right,
insurance.
right. And you are pretty much covered, like no copay, nothing. You can go to any medical. Yeah. That was awesome, right? Nowadays, like with inflation and all the medical fees, etc., so humongous that and in many companies, you pay from the pocket, plus there is a lot of copays, etc. So I think that's a great perk that probably Microsoft provided back in the day. Not sure if they still do it right now as well, but at least I guess earlier they used to do it. Um,
Yes.
we shift little bit gears. तो आपने बताया कि आप जैसे इतने साल तक आप एक एम्प्लॉई रही, काम करते रहे, कई साल आपने माइक्रोसॉफ्ट में भी बिताए। आपको ऐसा क्या लगा कि अब आपको अपनी कंपनी करनी चाहिए, या क्या सर्कमस्टेंसेस थे जिसके अंदर आपने फुल टाइम एक एम्प्लॉई का जॉब छोड़ के, जिसमें रेगुलर पेचेक हर 15 दिन में मिलता है आपको, वो छोड़ा और एक अनसर्टेन पाथ पे आ गए जहाँ पे आपको अब डेली मतलब बिजनेस बिल्ड करना है, रेवेन्यू लेके आना है। ये कैसे ट्रांजिशन हुआ आपका ऐसा? क्या आपके दिमाग में आया कि ये करना चाहिए मेरे को?
Actually, Arpit, even from a very young age, I always wanted to have my own business, my own company. So I've had this enterprising streak within me, if I may
ओह!
call it.
नहीं, आपने
So
बताया भी था, मुझे याद है कि आपने इवन यूके में अपना अपना खुद का रेस्टोरेंट खोलने की कोशिश करी, जब जब आपको टर्न डाउन किया गया। बट आपने सोचा चलो अब मेरे को काफ़ी एक्सपीरियंस हो गया, तो यहाँ पे मैं अपना कंपनी खोलने की कोशिश करती हूँ।
yes, and you see, the idea came to me is when I was in this technology adoption program in
राइट।
Microsoft, which we call TAP, TAP,
अच्छा।
and where you're going to companies like healthcare companies,
हुँ,
let's
हुँ।
say, or telecom companies and other industries, and you are, introducing your product to them. So we
या
had this networking product,
राइट।
and and I always had contact with the salespeople because they were the ones who were actually taking the product to
राइट,
their
राइट,
customers, this product. And what I would hear from the customers were, you know, okay, if you had this application,
राइट,
if we could do this with this product, then maybe we could use it. And
राइट।
a lot of what I heard was this need for a contact center solution.
अच्छा, तो आप ये बता रहे हैं जब आपने अपनी कंपनी शुरू करी, तो आपने खुद का अपना कॉन्टैक्ट सेंटर सॉल्यूशन डेवलप करा जिसमें वो सारे फीचर्स थे जो कि माइक्रोसॉफ्ट आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स दे नहीं रहा था। तो आपने वो
Yes.
जो गैप्स थे नीड्स के, वो आपने बेसिकली फुलफिल करे। तो मेरा आपसे एक क्वेश्चन है, जैसे आपने अपनी कंपनी सेटअप करी, तो वो आपने खुद बनाया कॉन्टैक्ट सेंटर सॉल्यूशन, या आपने कुछ एम्प्लॉइज लाइक ऑनबोर्ड करे जिन्होंने आपके लिए लिखे प्रोडक्ट्स और फिर आपने सेल करा, लाइक हाउ हाउ डिड दैट वर्क?
Yes, so I had a rather brilliant friend who became the CTO, and
ओके।
he was a strong developer. He was a friend from my AT&T and Denver University days.
ओके, नाइस, 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 दैट्स वेरी हेल्पफुल। तो आपने फिर वो जो आपने जो स्टार्टअप जो आपने करा, तो आपका, मैं अज्यूम कर रहा हूँ, वो बूटस्ट्रैप थी या आप लोगों ने वेंचर फंड रेज करा था या एंजल राउंड करा था, या कैसे आपने उसको मतलब चलाया और कितने दिन चली आपकी स्टार्टअप?
It was bootstrapped.
ओके।
So, yes,
राइट।
so we did ourselves. And
राइट।
I think if I can look back, that was the most exciting time in my career when we
ओह,
were working day and night and doing this work.
तो आपने वो कितना टाइम चलाया, लाइक हाउ हाउ लॉन्ग डिड यू हैव दैट स्टार्टअप फॉर?
Think about 6 years or so.
अच्छा,
Uh,
6 ईयर तक चला आपका, तो आपके फिर काफी क्लाइंट बेस भी बने होंगे कॉन्टैक्ट सेंटर्स वगैरह में, कोई आपको ध्यान है कि कौन से आपके
Yeah,
मेन?
we would do solutions for companies,
अच्छा।
you know, that thing. And then at that point, my CTO decided to work more in the oil and gas industry.
ओके। ओके।
So since I did not have that strong of a technical team,
या।
that's when I decided, not to pursue this further.
गॉट इट, गॉट इट। फिर आपने उसके बाद क्या दोबारा आप कॉर्पोरेट में चले गए उसके बाद, मतलब इसके बाद क्या करा आपने?
No, then after that, I decided to come back to India because there was a need for me to come back to India.
ओके।
Some things were happening in my family.
ओके।
Um,
गॉट इट, गॉट इट। तो
yes.
आपको फैमिली के चक्कर में आप जैसे इंडिया आ गए आप, तो अब आप अगर कंट्रास्ट करें आपका जो आपका यूएस का इतना लंबी लंबा सफ़र रहा है आपका, और अब जैसे आप इंडिया आ गए आप, तो अगर आपको कंट्रास्ट करना हो दोनों को कि यूएस कंपैरेटिव टू इंडिया, कुछ आप बता सकते हैं कुछ, जैसे क्या चीज़ें यूएस में अच्छी हैं, क्या चीज़ें इंडिया में अच्छी हैं, क्या चीज़ें यूएस में अच्छी हो सकती हैं, क्या चीज़ें इंडिया में अच्छी हो सकती हैं? कुछ अगर 1-2 चीज़ें बता पाएँ डिफरेंस, अगर ऐसा कुछ अगर आपको पता रहे?
Yeah, sure, Arpit. So, one thing I would say is I just taught myself not to compare
ओके।
my life over there and here. The reason being is then I would never be able to adjust here.
करेक्ट।
That was the thing. And my circumstances were also very different and in a way very difficult when I
ओके।
came back to India.
राइट।
And so what I enjoyed most about US is, the mindset of the people, their
हुँ, हुँ।
openness,
राइट।
their ability to include others,
राइट।
and the opportunity people get study to learn to meet people from all over the world.
राइट।
And of course, as we all know, the opportunities of work are endless.
राइट।
And entrepreneurship is also so welcomed over there.
राइट। 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 एंड आई थिंक
So
एक और बात मैं ऐड करना चाहूँगा कि फेलियर भी काफ़ी हद तक एक्सेप्टेड है यूएस में, कि यू कैन
yes,
ट्राई सर्टेन थिंग्स, सो यू विल बी कंसिडर्ड एज़ बेटर इफ यू ट्राइड समथिंग एंड फेल्ड रादर देन नॉट हैविंग ट्राइड एनीथिंग एट ऑल। That is much more welcome, I think, in the US mindset. If do you concur with that, or is that
yes,
something?
absolutely. And you can grow to be a person. And maybe my vision here is very narrow because I can only talk about my experience. You
Sure.
can be the person that you could probably never be in India.
Okay, yeah, that
And
that makes sense. I think that's quite profound. तो आप जैसे आप इंडिया में जैसे आप आए हैं, तो आपको कुछ ऐसा यहाँ भी ऐसा यूनिक लगता है जो आपको लगता है कि ये चीज़ अच्छा, बहुत अच्छी है, जैसे आप कोलकाता में हैं अभी, तो ऐसा कुछ आपको लगता है कि ये चीज़ इंडिया की बहुत अच्छी है जो कि शायद आपको यूएस में इतनी ना मिल पाई हो, जो यहाँ की, मतलब जो यहाँ की खूबी है इंडिया की, आप कलकत्ता में जैसे थे?
yes, there are many, many things. But one more thing about Kolkata is, the place I left and the place I came back to is completely different.
डिफरेंट।
There's absolutely no industry over here. So I
राइट।
cannot compare the Kolkata experience with, what somebody would experience in Bangalore or Chennai or
राइट।
Mumbai or some other
राइट।
place
करेक्ट।
or, Gujarat.
राइट। राइट।
So
नो, दैट
I,
दैट 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 मेक्स सेंस। हम लोग टाइम चेक भी करेंगे कि आपने देखा होगा टाइमर चल गया, हमारे टाइम की घड़ी
okay,
उल्टी चल रही है, तो
yes.
तो आई थिंक आपका मुझे अच्छा लगा, कुछ अगर मुझे थोड़े टेक अवेज लेने हैं इसके अंदर से, तो वो मैं आपके बात में से निकालूंगा कि एक, आपने बताया कि आपको स्टडी का शौक था, जैसे मैं जानता हूँ कि आपने बैचलर्स करी, फिर आपने मास्टर बैचलर्स करी कोलकाता से, मास्टर्स करी दिल्ली से, फिर एक और मास्टर्स करी यूके से, फिर स्कॉटलैंड से एक और मास्टर्स करी, फिर आपने एक और मास्टर्स करी यूएस से, और ऑलमोस्ट पीएचडी करने वाले थे, वो करते करते मास्टर्स करी। एंड देन आपने सेल्स का जॉब करा पहले, फिर आप प्रोग्राम मैनेजमेंट में माइक्रोसॉफ्ट मूव करे, कई साल तक काम करा। उसके बाद आपने अपनी खुद की स्टार्टअप करी, कई साल तक वो काम करा। देन आप वापस आए पर्सनल रीजंस के चक्कर में। और आप अभी कोलकाता के अंदर हैं, जो आपकी बर्थ, आई थिंक आप यहीं जन्मे थे कोलकाता में,
Yes,
दैट्स राइट। तो आप अपने बर्थ प्लेस पे वापस आए हैं आप, और अगेन आप योर बिल्डिंग योर ओन, आई थिंक आप स्टार्टअप बिल्ड कर रहे हैं अपना अभी, इज दैट व्हाट
yes,
यू डूइंग? हाँ। तो आई
absolutely.
थिंक the thing that is to take away is that you are an entrepreneur in your mind, and that's what your I think that gets your creative juices going. तो आप कहीं ना कहीं उसकी तरफ भागते हैं, चाहे आप यूएस में हो या यहाँ हो। आप चाहते हो कि कुछ कुछ क्रिएट करना, कुछ entrepreneurship entrepreneurial जर्नी पे जाना, जो कि आप कर रहे हैं। आपसे बात करके मुझे बहुत ही अच्छा लगा। आई नो आपको थोड़ा सा हिंदी में इतना इतना निपुणता नहीं है, फिर भी आपने मेरे क्वेश्चंस का जवाब दिया, कोशिश करी हिंदी बोलने की, तो मैं उसके लिए बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ। एंड आई रियली थैंक यू फ्रॉम द बॉटम ऑफ योर हार्ट। आई नो it must be early morning for you, so this is first thing that you're doing today, connecting with me from the US. But I really thank you for giving me this time, sharing your experiences. I think it will have a strong impact on a lot of people who are looking to either move to the US, not getting afraid of trying to do whatever it takes to reach out there. आपने बताया कि in earlier days there were a lot more difficult to get visas and job experiences, etc., but you kept on marching ahead, kept on forging ahead, and converted them into one job after another. And you have illustrious career, right? Oracle, Microsoft, these are like, in back in the day, these were the top companies, right? Like how we think of Googles and Facebooks of the world today, these were those companies at that point of time, right? So timeline is very important. So early 90s and all, of course, Oracle was very high up there. Microsoft was probably the number one tech company at that point of time. Maybe Apple was another one, but I think outside of them, IBM had already kind of declined by that time, if I'm not wrong. And these were the companies which were like marching ahead, etc. So this was like awesome. This is a great journey, and thanks for sharing your experiences. I'm sure we'll get more time and we'll get little bit deeper again in our future podcasts, etc. But back to you. Any last comments or moments that you would like to share?
I would just say one thing is that career is open to talent.
Right.
So if you feel you have the talent, you have the desire, you can do anything.
Yes.
But there will be so many struggles in anybody's life, so we just need to support one another, need
Right.
to be with our friends, so that this journey is more manageable, I would say.
Right. No, this is very good. I think you left a very good message in the last, that we all have to keep marching ahead, keep forging ahead. There will be obstacles in the way. The people who keep trying, they will always find a way, right? So वो कहते हैं ना, काम करने वालों की हार नहीं होती। उसका मतलब ही यही है कि जो चाहता है, जिसके मन में है कि वो कुछ कर दिखाना चाहता है, जो चाहता है कि मैं आगे बढ़ता जाऊं, कितने भी उसके बीच में पत्थर आ जाएं, कांटे आ जाएं, वो उसको लांग जाता है। हो सकता है आप मेरी सारी बातें समझ ना पा रहे हो, क्योंकि मैं थोड़ी ज्यादा
नहीं, मुझे
कठिन,
समझ में आ रही
समझ में
है।
आ रही है आपको समझ में, ठीक है। तो अच्छी बात है। तो अब मैं आपको जानने देता हूँ, मुझे पता है आपका अर्ली मॉर्निंग टाइम है, आपको और भी काम, दिनचर्या के काम करने होंगे, तो आपके मैं बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ तहे दिल से कि आप आए, आपने टाइम निकाला। नमस्कार, और हम दोबारा मिलेंगे। थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर योर टाइम।
नमस्कार अर्पित जी, थैंक यू।
बाय।